Okay, and welcome back. This is Joseph. We're playing Vintage Story. This is quite a few days have actually passed since the last episode. The reason for that, of course, is the fact that we needed to do some clay working, and it's kind of tedious, so I did a decent amount of it off camera. I've also been working on food production, and I guess I would just say that that seems to be going very well. Basically, we have cooked a lot of individual food items like these, raw bushmeat, by simply putting firewood in here and lighting it with a torch. But I also went ahead and cooked, and I will hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate this episode. But I also went ahead and cooked a cooking pot here worth of just red meat. I just did 24 red meat in it, and I ended up getting a decent batch of it, and I had some in these little bowls just directly, but I also made 4 servings of the hefty red meat stew here, and I put it in this crock. And it turns out what you can do is you can take a crock, fill it with food, add a animal fat to it, and that'll seal it. And if you see this here, you'll see that it is fresh for 54.3 days. That's a long time. That's certainly long enough to be very useful. So I've been working on that. Food in general. In the meantime, I'm doing clay working. Now, here's my unfired molds that are just laying around here. The brown ones are the ones that have been fired. Now, these are ingot molds. Let me just show you. You know, when you shift right-click the ground, you get this whole menu. So all these like flat things are tool molds. And then these up here are ingot molds. I also made some roof tiles, so we've made quite a few. We've basically done everything you can make. I think that's pretty much true. I think I've pretty much, if not everything, then almost everything we can make with clay we've made, and then several we've made a few of, like the lamella molds here. We've made 4 of. I should probably make another one of those. I feel like you never have too many of those. Similar with the ingot molds. We are starting to get hungry again, and I will show you precisely how I've been getting as much food as I've been getting recently, because essentially it's boiled down largely to hunting animals, because the garden is not ready yet, the farm. This is good and bad. This means that we get plenty of food, but it also means we're going to have a nutritional imbalance, because we are pretty much sacrificing veggies, grains, dairy, etc., and just focusing on meat, which is fine for a bit, but it does, you can actually see it. Push C and you see your character. See, I've got protein, a little bit of fruit, and my diet is very unbalanced. But we've been just kind of progressively, every time these finish, we do a new batch. And so we've got these, we've got all these storage vessels and bowls and things, and the anvil mold, so we're making really good progress. I've also, as you can see, started the frames to the house here, and that's good. Let me just, 1 second, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, well, actually, I was gonna say maybe I need to dig into my crock pot there, but I've actually got 5 here I can eat. So let's eat these and go to bed for the night. We will probably run out of food by morning. Oh, that's right, and there's a temporal storm coming. I forgot that, because it was in between episodes. So as you can see by the HUD display there, it says something about a light temporal storm approaching, and we wake up right as it starts, unfortunately. So what I'm really going to have to do, honestly, at this point, is I'm going to have to grab a couple food items here, and we're going to have to run. And the problem here is that, so temporal storms are basically periods of great temporal instability when lots of these drifters spawn, and unfortunately I don't have the wherewithal to really defeat them. I'm out of armor. My armor is deteriorated completely. Is he dead? No, he's alive. As you can see, when temporal instability is high, it causes the world to literally transform and warp and change. It becomes non-parallel. So you can kind of get away with running away a little bit. This is a light storm, so you can kind of get away with it. Ideally, what I would be doing is seeking shelter underground somewhere, because these enemies are all beyond me. That being said, I really do... It would be nice if we could get a temporal gear, so I think I might try to at least kill one. But it's very dangerous, and these guys are much stronger than the... there's different types of drifters. There are some normal drifters, but then there are some deep drifters, and tainted drifters, and corrupted drifters, and nightmare drifters, and double-headed drifters. This guy is a tainted drifter. So he's like a level, is it 3 or 4 drifter. And so I can go ahead and fight him here with my spears, because they're ranged weapons, thank goodness. But I've hit him, what, 4 times now, and he's just now, that's 5 times, and he's just now died. So obviously we want to be careful. We only have so much health to risk here, and unfortunately these guys are stronger than the regular drifters, so they will hit harder, and we don't have armor on. I don't know quite where my spears ended up. There we go. Most of the attacks that we're going to get hit by from the drifters are going to be the throwing of stones. And these guys do just keep spawning, so there's not a lot of relief in sight from them. And merely killing them doesn't necessarily even give you a big break from them. Where's the one that I killed over here? Did I get any? Yeah, I did get a linen string and 1 fiber. So I think what I want to do, probably just to be really safe, I don't really have the ability to dig underground yet, so I probably... One technique I could use, I could go out in the water. I could also nerd pull up, or actually, you know what, the probably safest thing for me to easily do would be to go up on my little foundations that I've been building. Now I will get hit by stones up here, but I won't get hit directly by melee attack. And I am losing health due to hunger, not attacks. So I'm going to put this croc down. And we're going to grab a bowl. And I just right-click the bowl, and then I can eat this bowl. And that more than restored my hunger. So that's important. That'll keep me at least fed. But these guys will be throwing rocks at me, so we might want to... I've got 4 javelins. It would be nice if I could get a couple more kills. But it's just kind of hard to know which ones to go after. Drifters do drop... a couple things I want to say. First of all, drifters do drop loot. It consists of rusty gears, temporal gears, linen, and apparently now leather. Another thing, though, is that you used to have to skin drifters with a knife, and you don't have to do that apparently anymore. I think that's a vanilla edition. I don't think that's a mod or anything. Oh, by the way, another thing in the background, you see that visual there? That's like a gear wheel going. That's just kind of a visual representation of the temporal instability. So it's a good little mechanic for the game. I don't really necessarily know the entirety of the lore that leads us to this point. I do know that it's probably not entirely sustainable to just kind of chill up here. Maybe it is. It looks like my kilns are done, my pit kilns. Okay. Really don't need to be taking gravity damage at this point. And there's wolves over there. I don't want to deal with them for sure. Basically, what I'd recommend is avoiding melee encounters with tough, intense forms of the drifters. The occasional rock to your head, probably going to be okay. Unless you're getting low on health. And then I'd recommend running and hiding. Okay, see how he just spawned there? Now he's gonna be a normal drifter, it turns out. These don't last that long, but they last an annoying amount of time, but not like a... Oh, and it looks like it's coming to an end. Here we go. Okay, so now that the storm is at an end, we can see normally again, and we can go ahead and try to get a couple last kills before we call it a day. Boy, this guy doesn't want to get hit. He's a tainted drifter. Which again, I can't remember if that's level 3 or 4. Okay, so he died, and he's gonna leave linen. Looks like honey, or resin as well. So that's new. They've revamped the loot table. Let me just see if they come up in here. Drifter. So surface, deep, tainted is level 3, corrupt, nightmare, double-headed. So tainted is level 3. So that's a good like medium adversary to kind of accept as a adversary. So he died, and he left me leather, a pelt or whatever that is. And let's see if we can get any more. I'm really trying. I would love to get a temporal gear, or more, you know, many temporal gears would be great, because that is really one of the main technological things that we're going to want to start accumulating are the temporal gears. And he left me another pelt. Okay, so that might be it for drifters in the area. And that, you know, it's not a bad thing. What I would just say is we definitely don't want to be overwhelmed. Go ahead and grab these berries though, and they'll actually add to my food diversity there a little bit with some fruit. I think that might be it for the drifters. Perhaps. And as you can see, it's actually very, very beautiful now, even though it's raining. Basically how I was getting my food is there's just all these cows and things, you know, cows and goats and things. The cows tend to be particularly easy. I could kill this wolf fairly easily. I say that and I keep failing, and I just lost my torch because I jumped into the water, so... Oh, we got a wolf though. And I have killed plenty of wolves as well, but if you get more than one coming at you at a time, it's a little precarious. Okay, he lost interest. The cows are quite a bit safer of a bet, so let's... We're gonna have plenty of hides for leatherworking here. Okay, so 4 good shots, and we can kill a cow. And they tend to drop, you know, pretty good loot. 13 meat. And everything else, so, you know, animal fat, that's good. Oh, and another thing that I saved for this episode is we could actually make another type of permanent light source using animal fat and these little bowls, which is why you want to have plenty of these on you. So I'm going to make 2 of these. Let's make 2 oil lamps. Lump of fat and fired ceramic bowl. Oil lamp. So you can put these here. I have a hanging oil lamp mod that kind of creates that little hangy thing. So that's pretty cool. And we could put one, you know, let's say over here. Right on this thing. So let's get some firewood into the fireplace here. Let's get our torch reignited. And then let's go ahead and light... And that went out already in the rain. Okay. Go ahead and light this. When you're injured like I am, you start kind of swaggering around a little bit like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab this cooking pot. Right-click it onto the fire. We get this new GUI. And we can actually fill this with 24. That's the maximum amount of that red meat. So that's going to create... You can kind of hear the animation. That's going to create more hefty red meat stew. The same exact stuff we were eating up there. We're just putting down these tool molds. This is for an axe, Falks, ice pick, prospecting pick, hammer, and then this one is our shingles. So we got 48 baked shingles, so we can make those into roofing material later. I only did that because it is one of the clay recipes, and you can, just for the record, you can do 48 shingles at a time. Okay, so now we got to decide what to cook next. I'm going to keep focusing on the tool molds. The shovel, hoe, pickaxe, and I guess I'll do 2 more ingot molds as well. You can do 2 ingot molds at a time, but you know, almost inexplicably only 1 flat mold at a time. And as usual, we need a bunch more grass. I think there's, maybe I have 8 or 9 in storage, so probably just need to get another 40 of the grass. One other thing I'll mention on today's exciting episode is that I did manage to find some mineral deposits around here. We've got, you know, these are, actually that one's tin. This is tin, the other ones are copper. And so I got, what is that, 4 copper deposits and a tin. That's a pretty good start. That means that we have a pretty good chance of getting bronze relatively soon. And we really need a bronze anvil to be able to make iron stuff later. So that's kind of one of your first gatekeeping goals, is to get past bronze. And so the tin is what allows us to get bronze above and beyond just regular copper. Now copper alone is very handy. It will allow us to go into the Metal Age from this Stone Age that I'm still living in here. And we might go mining at some point. But before we can even go mining, we have to get a pickaxe, which means we're going to have to get the surface ore at first. Okay, so we'll throw these down. Did I not get the grass fully in there? Oh, I'm running low on sticks. Wow. Okay, so that should do it for the sticks, and then we need some, okay, this is cooked now, so we can go ahead and take that out. And you can just set these down too, like the crocks. I mean, here, I'll show you what to do with the crock. Take the crock, right-click the cooked. Okay, yeah, so you can see I've got 4 servings of hefty red meat there. And then you just want to grab one of those animal fats and put it with the crock here, and it becomes sealed. So right now, if I just hang on to this in my inventory, it says perishable. It would probably be, I think the game is still like, hasn't ticked that it needs to calculate that. My guess is it would be like 12 or 15 days. And if I go like this, it's gonna just go up to about 60. It's gonna go, basically you save the deterioration rate by something like 4, a factor of 4. But you can use these bowls to just grab bits of it out of the pot. So now we've got 4 in there, and then these 2 servings right there. So go ahead and have one of those. And you can often don't have enough room in your stomach for the whole thing, so. And I need to cook that meat, but I'm gonna wait on that. So let me get the extra grass in here. And let's focus on getting that pit kiln going there. Do I have any wood in storage? I made a bunch of extra reed baskets, as you can tell. Here we go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and place these down. Keep the gravy train running here with the pottery. Go ahead and light these with the torch. I've gotten really good at lighting these from the same position. You can just diagonally reach across and, oops, did I get that? I think I did. And then get this one. My problem is I keep my cursor still moving because I'm still not in great health. So like I'm not moving it at all, but you can see relative to that block I was aiming at, it was moving. So unfortunately I just wasn't paying attention, it moved off of this one. There we go. Alright, they're all lit and they will eventually yield their cooked version of themselves. So that's good there, that's all I need to do that. Okay, well let's maybe consider grabbing some of this copper. So I left it all on the ground. Is that a wolf? Those are wolves. There's 3 of them there. So I'm gonna... Is that... Oh god, there's one there. Oh shit. Wow. Okay, he's still after me. Yeah, the wolves... Okay, so, you know, earlier in an episode I made a comment that the wolves aren't so bad in this series. Well, it turns out they are. They're just as bad as normal. I just didn't have dens of wolves right near me right at first, apparently. But now they've taken up residence. Okay, so I made my way to my first copper location here. And I marked it on the map. It's kind of hard to get to with the foliage. In winter, by the way, some of... Well, I was going to say some of it dies off. It really doesn't die off. It just gets easier to see through, I guess. Where is that? Oh, here it is, okay. So, unfortunately, this is not going to be a lot of surface deposit. Looks like 1. Just looking around for anything else, but... I think that's going to be it, sadly. Okay, so we can right-click that, and I just happen to have 2 chunks in that one little rock, so we've got 2 copper now. So here's deposit number 2, coming up by the village. Probably couldn't hurt to get that flint as well. Sometimes, by the way, metal ore does spawn in water, so if you happen to be by a lake like this, it doesn't hurt to take a peek and see if these rocks that spawn under the lake are ores. But anyway, here's deposit number 2. This only is 2. So each there's a 2 and a 3 in that batch. So we're now up to 7, which is almost enough for a single tool. For tools, you'll need... I'll show you. Each one of these is 5 units, and 20 times 5 is 100. So you need 100 units to make an ingot. So I guess I need 20. So this is not even half an ingot yet. So I guess I should go track those down. And here we go. So I have to say, I think these copper deposits have been particularly sparse. Usually you'll find 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rocks of it around. I've found 1 and 2s so far. So it seems like abnormally sparse. And I only got 1 from that one, which really sucks. So now we're up to a total of 8. Again, I need 20 for a single ingot worth, which is a tool's worth. So chances are, I mean, I'm probably not going to get the full 20 from these 4 deposits, even though normally you would. But that's okay, I'll show you another technique that we can use to get more ore. Aside from finding it in ruins, of course. But yeah, I mean, like, I literally just found that by walking around and paying attention to what kind of rock-looking things were on the ground. And if you see rocks that are a little bit off, you know, you can always take a look. These are quartz, but over here, you know, you see the rock laying on the ground, and you see it's a little bit discolored, and next thing you know, you've got copper. Again, only 2 surface rocks there. But each of them, they average to be 3 there, so we've got another 7, so that's 14. And that's pretty much it for the copper deposits. Now, what we're probably going to have to do, therefore, is do a little panning for copper. We need more wood, you see. Now, there's something called a gold pan in this game. Very similar to Terraformacraft's panning mechanic. And basically what we are going to do is we're going to take a log. I do like clearing out these trees in general, though, because it does give us a little bit more protection, or at least the ability to kind of anticipate wolf attacks a little bit better. So now that we've got this, I want to say, yeah, to get the wooden pan, we just put the knife next to it. So great, now we have a wooden pan. So you can pan several different types of material. You can pan sand, gravel, and certain types of soil, like bony soil. So let's go over here and get... Oh, okay, there goes our torch. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's not in our offhand. So you can find sand along the beach like this. Just grab a few. And it doesn't really matter that much. Bony soil is the best to pan in, but I haven't made an effort to get any of this playthrough yet. So I'm just going to grab some of this sand. Okay. And now that we've got some sand, what we're going to want to do, and I'll just do it here, I think, so unlike Terraformacraft, you don't put it, you can see I right-clicked that sand that was just sitting there, but you have to be standing in the water to make the actual panning. So I did that once, twice, nothing so far. Okay, it did say, so I think I got a piece of flint, because you saw my basket jiggle there. That time I got a piece of granite stone, very you know, not fancy, but it is something. And we'll see my inventory jiggle if I get something. See how that jiggled? We got a flint arrowhead that time. I guess I can just stand on this rock and do this directly down. Oh, I did see, I started out with 7 copper, now I'm up to 9. So I have gotten 2 coppers there. So, anyway, that's the process of panning. It is slow and tedious, but it is a great way, if you need a little supplement, to get your first, 20 ores. Now, what I'm going to do off camera after I finish recording this episode is I'm going to do a little bit more perhaps exploration and certainly panning until I've got not simply 20 but at least 40 copper. Because in order to really get going with metalworking you need 40, not just the 20. And right now I've got 17. So we need to do a little bit more legwork to get 40. And I don't want to just sit here and pan and, whatever all day long. So I think what I'll probably do is maybe go on exploration tomorrow, off camera, looking specifically for surface copper. And I'll do a little bit of panning at night tomorrow until we get the full 40. I'm confident that I will succeed in this task. but I don't want to do most of it on camera because it is kind of grunt work. But you do get the occasional side goodie from this. So the arrowhead is, you know, if we got more of those, it would be good. Okay, we got a piece of clay that time. So I guess that's a way you could get clay if you're desperate too. So we ended up with all that time I just spent on that task. We just got 3 coppers. Another thing I could do is get some bony soil from a ruin. So although it's getting late in the evening, I'm going to race up here to one of the ruins that we found in the past and see about getting some bony soil so I can mine or pan that. Well, blueberry snack on the way. There's a white stag. Or as House of the Dragon would put it, a white heart. I don't know if you guys are watching House of the Dragon, but just started up on HBO a couple weeks ago. It's going pretty strong so far, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the ruin that we previously marked. And we didn't really dig... well, no, I did dig up a clay pot, but I didn't dig much of anything else up. And so what you'll find is if you dig down around these ruins a bit... oh, hi, pig. Please don't get mad at me. Like any other, you know, semi-passive animal, the pigs do attack. Now the bony soil will, and instead of being kind of generic like that sand was, you know, and even though we did get a few useful items, bony soil is going to just exponentially multiply the potency of the panning method of resource gathering. Even though we don't have a pickaxe yet, and I think, personally, I don't like the fact that you can dig cobblestone with a shovel. I think that's kind of silly. But you can. Actually, let's give this ruin a try right quick. I bet you this one has bony soil. There's another giant hole there. So this looks to be a little bit bigger, perhaps, of a ruin, which increases the likelihood of some bony soil. Here we go. This is what I was looking for right here. Okay, I'm just gonna get this one piece of it for now, but we'll all off camera get more of it. So you can put this down here just like your sand, and then right click that, pan, and we got one bone already. But I really want to be able to prove to you that the bony soil is good stuff. So let's try a little bit more bony soil panning. We are getting some bones, I will say that. We got something there. We got a piece of linen that time. Linen fiber. Or flax fiber, I mean. You do get ore. You do get jewels sometimes. That was another stone arrowhead that we just got there. So this is already starting to be better. And another bone there. And that time we got this, whatever that is. Looks like a turquoise, maybe? Rough emerald. Okay, and we got another flint arrowhead on that one. And that time we got a rusty gear, which is the income, the money in this game. And, you know, each one of those is pretty valuable, honestly. You can find temporal gears in this, too. I got another piece of flax fiber on that one. So this is a great activity to do during the winter when you don't have the ability to really like go exploring and stuff. This is a good like wintertime activity. So theoretically what I should do is anytime I encounter a ruin from now on, I should probably, I got another flax fiber there, I should probably like try to maximally collect the bony soil. But anyway, I'm just going to continue doing this kind of stuff off camera until we get enough to make tools, and then next episode we'll start up by doing basic copper working and advancing to the metal age. So, with that being said, if you've been watching, thank you very much, and I will see you next time on Let's Play Vintage Story.